Good morning. Good morning, Imperial Valley, Sacramento, Arizona, Mexicali, Canada. Everybody that's out there that's been following for many years. This is a time where I'm interviewing somebody from California. I call it the city, the highest American flag. Am I right?
The,
The
the,
flag is like,
the tallest flag in the Western Hemisphere. I believe
there
it's
it is. That's the word. That's the
50
word.
long. If you're
Yeah.
a true
And
Calipatrian, you know that.
yeah, that's their icon in Calipat.
Yes.
Below sea level, next to Salton Sea almost. Um, uh, I call it, she's running, well, let me share it right here. Um, at this to screen, this is her Facebook page. Jacqueline is her name. She's running for city council in Calapat. So you guys know about this is her Facebook page. Like it, like it, like it, like it. Those are in Calapat. Those are in Raleigh. Like her page. It's on my screen right here as I do this interview with her. Honored to be with her. She's also a former paramedic, mother of what, four kids.
Three. I yeah, I don't know. One more would probably send me to the Lumen. I don't know if I can handle that.
And so she's running for office, and I'm excited because I'm interviewing her. Thank you, those that are looking on right now. If you have any comments, throw them in Facebook or YouTube. It's going live. So if you have any comments for her, let me know, and we'll put them up on the screen. For the record, I'm honored to work with all these politicians that are running for office. They're making a difference in our community. That's why I reached out to Jacqueline and everybody that's out there. So if you're running for office and I haven't reached out to you because you're on my list still, I just got a busy schedule. I got another one today at 6 o'clock, another interview at 6. The girl's running for Imperial, City of Imperial. Today was because this busy mom, and she has a busy schedule. So that's why we booked it at 10 o'clock in the morning. And Jacqueline, tell them what you're running for and let them know what you've done as a community leader out there already.
All right. Yes. I'm a 37-year-old female woman of Calipatria. I was born and raised pretty much out here in the North End. Spent 26 years of my life out here. I did spend some time in Nyland for a few years. So I'm naturally in love with the North End. And I did some time in San Diego too. But San Diego just wasn't my thing. The city life wasn't my style. I like slow pace. I like knowing your neighbors. I like the community love. The closeness you get out of small towns like Calapat and Nyland is very different. So I knew that I needed to be here. And I've been happy to be back these past, oh my goodness, we came back in 2014 when my Zoe was born. My background, I started off in 2001, actually. I was 17 years old. One of the things that I really love about community outreach programs, right? I think that's something that every city needs to focus on, community outreach. Our town, Calapat, they started the Fire Explorers when I was 17. And so I joined. During those times, I was a bit of a troubled youth. Luckily, I never bedabbled in drugs. People then probably thought so because, I mean, as you see me now, I'm a tattooed girl, very different than, your average, neighbor, right? Looking, but definitely got a heart of gold. When I was 17, I was a troubled youth and I almost didn't graduate high school. My parents were just hyper focused on their medical health problems, and I just kind of ran around not caring for school. And at those times, I really you don't have teachers like you have them now. Teachers now, I feel like they really, truly want the children to succeed. So I joined the Explorers, and it was the best thing that could have happened to me because I fell in love with the job. The job was awesome. I mean, I think you just mentioned to me, Daniel, that you did spend a little bit of time as a reserve firefighter, right? It's an exhilarating career. Especially if you're an adrenaline junkie. There's no greater feeling than rolling into a big fire, or running into a vehicle on the side of the road where you have to hurry up and think fast and efficiently and effectively to save
On
people.
that note, I went at 18 years old. I went to a rollover on I-8.
Yeah.
It was a death rollover, and it was like the experience that nobody wants to experience. And I was a young kid at the time. And you said that, I'll never forget that, because it's still in my head. Is one, people don't understand that it stays in your head if it's a death rollover.
I do.
Two,
Go
you
ahead.
know, and if you remember that, as you as a paramedic probably saw that as well, and people understand that it affects us, and they understand that firefighter and paramedic are almost identical, but it's different atmosphere, EMT and all that. Because I was almost ready to be an EMT, but when it came to more dispatching, I just had to pull out. It just affected me because I saw that rollover, and I told the chief, I said, "I'm done. Thank you. I did my service."
So
You
when you
know,
go into the more critical scenes, it's either gonna make you or break you. It's not a job that's for everybody. There are things that you hold for the rest of your life, and some handle it better than others. I do feel that there's not enough support out there for mental wellness, and we could discuss more about that, especially if we end up talking about the homeless situation. But yes,
yeah,
PTSD is a real thing. It's not just for military. It's definitely for our public safety, law enforcement, firefighters. Um, I think that's what makes that brotherhood so much tighter in military and fire service and police, is the fact that you go and you see the worst of the worst, right? Because you rarely get called on for anything really positive, and you can relate. There's that relatability, so there's that tight bond amongst that brotherhood, right? So yeah, community outreach, right? I fell in love with the job at 17, and it turned my life around. It was either, Jackie, you're going to continue this path of just not caring about yourself and not finishing school, or you could finish school and you could do something this awesome. So I kicked it into gear and took advantage of the adult program. So my senior year, I was doing each course within like 2 weeks just to catch up. And I have to thank the Calipatria Fire Department for giving me that fire that I needed, because I was able to graduate in my year and the month that we graduated. I wasn't able to walk with my classmates, but I did finish. And then I started college, and I said, this is what I want to do in life. So I finally had gotten hired in 2002, right? I remember when it was March 2002. You know that you love something so much when you could remember the time that you were hired, right? That's when you lose
mm-hmm.
passion. It was March in 2002 when they finally hired me as a reserve firefighter, and I actually started getting paid, and that's when I started my EMT. For my EMT, I got my advanced EMT. It's like everything that I would pursue, I felt like I want more. I can do more. I want to challenge myself. So I did. I did that. I drove fire trucks. I operated fire trucks. I engineered. I operated ambulances. I mean, it was quite an experience. I think that those types of jobs, for sure, um, give you the skills of that don't come very natural to many. Working those high stress situations, you respond, you react, because your choices can mean somebody's life or death. Um, Heck, I remember some of the very first calls I ran on were very good friends of mine. A friend of mine that was, we used to play softball together, and it was a nasty accident right outside of Calipat. I was only 19, 20 at the time, and she passed away. And those are things that they mature you very fast. They make you grow. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but there's also very beautiful experiences. I've been very fortunate to have the opportunity to hand deliver babies, and I've actually signed birth certificates as the person that caught babies, and those are very beautiful moments that I treasure for the rest of my life. So I've seen the worst and I've seen the best moments. I really have. I've been very blessed during those times at the fire department. I've been recognized for all the work that I've done. I mean, my first year, I didn't start in January, so because I started in March, the first year that I worked there, I received a leadership award in Calipatria Fire Department. And then my second year, I did a full year. I was awarded the Firefighter of the Year award, and I was the first female in the city of Calipatria to receive that type of recognition. So yes, I did that. The fire department. I worked for Raleigh Fire for a little bit. That was a very short experience, but that's when around that time was when I ended up going to San Diego and working for the world famous San Diego Zoo Safari Park. I was a site supervisor there with we were a vendor, so we worked with this company called Medcore, and I did some really fun stuff there. The experience was once of a lifetime, that's for sure. I'm sorry I didn't get on.
What year was that?
I didn't
get on. What year was that?
That was in 2009. 2009 to 2000.
The reason I'm asking that date, that year, did you remember seeing homeless started popping up in San Diego and in Pro Valley while you're in San Diego at the time? But did you start seeing them pop up by 2009?
You know, and I remember the homeless community being around since I could remember as a little mocosa, like a tiny little thing, right? But I mean, as severe as it is now, oh no, it's a lot. It's becoming, I think, a pandemic. I mean, even Calipat has homeless. And
the reason I threw that in there because that's the topic everybody's don't want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And people know my story because by 2009 I was already homeless, but they say it's 2014. I got the days wrong, but I know it's within that range. And 2009 they started popping up in our town, El Centro. And I told council back in the day, what we're going to do in 10 years is going to grow bigger. And I warned council. To this day, I still warn council. Mm-hmm. It's getting worse and worse. And they're like, oh, well, you know, they got this law enforcement to help, but there's not.
For sure. I think we're getting forced into a time where we really need to act about the situation because it is a problem. And I think I'm not thinking, I know for a fact that I think there's just not enough awareness of mental wellness and the importance of mental wellness being as important as our physical wellness, right? And one of the biggest problem, I can't help but to say, I mean, my career, for example, loved my job. I was great at it. Getting your paramedic is not easy. It was one of the most difficult programs I've ever experienced in my life. And we started off with, it was 17 kids. And I say kids because we were very young. Started off with 17 kids, and then I was the only female in that program. And then we ended with 13 graduating. And it was about a year and some change of a program where you have to, every test that you take, you have to pass it at 80%. That's like a B. That's not even a C. That's, you know.
Yeah, that's 80% is nothing.
And you want to know how they tested us? Every day they'd give you this. Every day that you'd walk into that, they give you this. A white piece of paper. A white piece of paper. And they say, today you're going to test on dopamine. Write it down verbatim. You can't miss a punctuation. You can't miss anything. You have to write it word by word, dosage, route, contraindication, indication, side effects, you know, side notes, like all of that stuff. And you have to write it down word by word. And that was every day we were testing like that. Like, it was the most gnarliest thing I've ever experienced in my life. But I got through it because Estradas, that's what we do. We make things happen. So yeah, I had to stop my career because when I became a mother. Now, as you know, the fire service world and the EMS world, you're not home. It's a 24-hour job. And I mean, when I worked on the ambulance, I was working 48 and 72, 15 days a month. I was gone half a month, you know. So when my baby boy was born, I missed the first, you know, few months of his life because once, you know, I hit my 8-week mark because I had a cesarean section. 8-week mark, I was back on the ambulance. Let's get to work. Let's make things happen. My team needs me. That was my mentality. so I went back to work and I missed out all of those youth. But it wasn't until we moved to San Diego that I started noticing his differences. I knew that there was something that wasn't quite normal or fitting, right? But I didn't know what it was, and I didn't have a name for it. I'm like, what? You know, when you're raised in a traditional Hispanic home, you know, there's always like, oh, you know, they're not talking because they're lazy. Por huevón. No quiere hablar por huevón. Oh, you know, it's because you don't discipline enough. You need to spank them more. You know, there's always like these excuses. And as a parent, I was like, no, something's not quite there. And once he was getting ready to start kindergarten and he wasn't hitting his milestones, I said, you know what, I need to go home because I know Calipat's going to take care of us. The teachers are going to take care of us. So that's why one of the main reasons we came back, because I knew something was up with Killian. He ended up getting diagnosed with autism and ADHD, went a little too late in his journey, his special needs journey, right? He was 7 years old when we finally got him diagnosed with autism. And I had to hang up my towel. And one of the most difficult things as a woman that works and a woman that loved her career and a woman that really valued being able to, you know, create a home, make your money. Hey, I'm not a hardcore feminist. You're not going to catch me, you know, doing those hardcore feminist things, but I'm very much so about empowering women to pursue what their goals are and their career path, right? So it was very difficult accepting that I was going to have to hang it up and focus 110% on Killian. But it was the best thing I could have done. And luckily I got a very supportive partner. My partner, David Mercado, he works for Union Pacific, so he's able to take care of us while I focus 100% on the kids. And he has a union, so that's when I know you wanted to ask about unions, and he's part of a union, so
well, I mean that's just part of politics, because everybody gets endorsed. I've been hearing this person got endorsed by the union of the teachers. Because the reason I'm saying the unions, because I put that in there because the unions are usually your strong or your weakness in your campaign, and I'm saying this for experience as a campaign manager.
Yeah, you know,
former campaign manager.
It's, you know what, everybody could use a little helping hand here and there, support system. Unions work, you know, they really do. And David's my partner, he's part of a union. I mean, I get resources. The way I'm able to stay here and advocate for my children is because I use the resources that are available for my children, which are not very many people know about or even know how to access these resources, because in all honesty, I'm going to tell you the process of having your child diagnosed. You know there's differences, and so you ask.
I know diagnose.
Yeah,
I know about that side because it affects the Valley.
Yeah, you, and then there it is. There's a psychological evaluation, and then boom, there's your label. You have this. Now be free, little one, and figure it out, because that's how it is. And it's hard because not only are you grieving the expectations that you had as a parent. I don't know, Daniel, if you're a parent.
I am of a 21 years old son, HJG son.
Oh, thank goodness you're not dealing with e-learning, you lucky man.
Yeah. Well, he's 21 now. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would be doing that by now. Yeah. If my son wasn't born, you know, everything's, I call it timing.
Yes.
You know, everything's timing in life. I mean, I know what I've been through. My family's seen what I've been through. The public has seen what I've been through. Yeah. You know, so I mean,
hi, Zoe.
I see your kid back there. Who's that? Hi, Zoe.
That's Zoe.
Zoe, okay.
Zoe Toñita Mercado. She's her middle name is in honor of my mom, who passed away in 2012 of cancer, kidney cancer. And
see, people, the Cancer Society, I also work with cancer as well, Relay for Life. So I understand that department because of our veterans, they all have cancer. They won't say it, but they have cancer due to trauma wherever they served that they had cancer, and people don't see the military goes
Exposure.
through that
Yeah.
exposure. They were exposed somehow. They got exposure. I know a veteran that's running for office. She was exposed to Desert Storm.
This kid over here is messing with my chair. No, yeah. So she got my son being diagnosed, and then my daughter Zoe being born, and then Penny. That was definitely my youngest. That was definitely like I had to learn the process of being a special needs parent completely on my own, and it's one of those situations. As you know, clearly my background. I don't just. I have my laptop in my room. No, yes, Yuni. Sorry. Hey, this is the life of a mom right here that's e-learning right now. We get kids coming in and out. It's part of our everyday life. But I made sure that I learned everything possible to benefit my child's success. I think that's very important for special needs families, for families in general. Learn everything possible.
Do you think there should be a special needs center here for the valley, for Ventura Valley, for special needs?
We should have
like a better structured special needs program here for special needs kids, like more resource.
I have programs for special needs community, and I'll talk a lot about it if you want me to. But
yeah, no, it's a topic people need to listen because they don't know that the parents go through this, even though due to COVID / before COVID.
We get diagnosed and then we feel very alone. We feel you just kind of like lock yourself away from society, and you're like, no, I'm just going to stay here. It's safe here. But it's very important because there's nothing more empowering than being your own child's voice, right? And I'll tell you what, the schools will respect you tremendously as a parent that's fighting for their kid, as long as you approach it right. We're working as a team. We are a team because you are a team. We're a team. We're here. You as the educators, me as the parent. We're gonna do what we need to do to make sure that child is able to get the education that they're entitled to. It's their right to, right? So I learned everything possible, and that's what brought me to what I basically do today. So when Penny got diagnosed, she got diagnosed very young. She got diagnosed at 2 years and 9 months. And we had already started her because I noticed her right away. We started her right away with early start intervention. Early start intervention is basically ABA. ABA is applied behavioral analysis. It's therapy that teaches your children with autism daily life skills, daily living skills. And I know that sounds silly. It's like, why do you need therapy to learn how to? Because that's behavioral disorders. It affects their ability to function as in a neurotypical setting. What's a neurotypical setting? It's our world today. It's what we live in.
I've seen parents hide their kids with what your daughter has. Yes. I noticed that in the business sector, private sector, and I'm like, why don't you put your kid along with us, or why don't they just tag along? And then you see their Facebook page, you're like, oh, I get it now. I get they don't want to expose their kid because of that symptom, and it pisses me off as a parent because I exposed my son to the public at a young age, even though he had HDHD. They're like, well, he doesn't seem like he has HDHD. I go, yeah, because he's controlled right now. But once he gets home, it's a different ballgame.
Well, people forget that when we're dealing with behavioral disorders, we're talking about behaviors. It doesn't have a face. I have good-looking kids, and I know that sounds very biased because they're mine, but I got handsome and good-looking girls, and they're like, your kids don't look like they have autism. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry, but autism doesn't have a face. It doesn't. And this is why I like to talk about my children's autism, and I don't keep it a secret, because we need to break the stigma. We're seeing a lot of awareness about autism, and that's fantastic. But I think everybody has heard of autism at this point, right? You see the puzzle piece and you relate that to autism. You have different orgs that cater to making awareness of it. But I think what we really need to push for now is acceptance. And how do you push acceptance? You create an environment that's fitting for all. It's inclusive. No more segregation. No more. You know what? Your kid can't play with us because they're just different, or they just need extra attention, and we don't have time for that extra attention. And I
heard a person tell me that one time. I looked at her like, really? Like,
yeah,
you
no,
throwing that at my face?
and
I'll never forget that.
More exciting than a parent like me, as you can see. Go Padres! We're very excited that we clinched.
She's not endorsed by the Padres, you guys. Those are out there looking. She's not endorsed by the Padres.
I'm a big baseball fan. I love baseball. I love sports. So seeing my son grow up.
Are you going to bring sports at city council? This is my other question. Now you said sports. Are you going to bring like more sports into that town if you get elected?
What do you think I do? I'm so community involved. Like, I have to say this, and I'm going to say it right now. I am not about bringing down anybody. I'm all about spreading positivity and giving respects where it's earned. And everybody that's running for Calipatria City Council is playing their part in our community. We really are. The difference is I focus on the kids. That's my number one priority. Why don't I go for school board? Because the school board's awesome. Our school's awesome. And at the level that I'm at right now as parent school site council, my principals, they listen. And they say, Jackie, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. And even if my ideas are very different than the norm, whether it's like, hey, can we start like a community garden at the school? Or, hey, Sylvia Chavez, one of the ones that's running for also Calapat City Council, she was able to get a sensory room at Fremont Primary, and there's nothing more awesome than seeing our schools rebuild to fit all. A little small town, Calapat, has created a sensory room, the only sensory room in Imperial County. Made it happen. And all it took was a parent who cared and a principal who cared and a supportive school district. And it happened. And now, I helped out Sylvia. I can't take credit for what Sylvia did because she really made it happen. But I did. I went and helped her paint and helped her put things together. But she put in all the legwork and she made it happen. So I went to Bill Young Middle School and I said, all right, then I'm going to handle Bill Young Middle School. And Mr. Shaw, the principal, he said, let's make it happen. So we're actually working on, hopefully before the kids get back to school, we're going to flip one of the rooms into a sensory room. So that's really exciting to see. The school board don't need me right now. They have the people that are running the show right now. They're doing a fantastic job. I can't say anything negative about it. And I think that's why I worry about at the city level. The city level don't have a parks and recreations.
They don't?
No, we don't have parks and recs here in Calapat. It's the community is responsible for running youth programs. We make it happen. That's the same thing with they just recently resurrected the Chamber of Commerce, which George Prieto and Sylvia Chavez are members of that, and they brought the Centennial, which was the 100-year anniversary of birthday of Calipatria. They brought little small events like that into the town, which was nice to have, right? Bingo nights, like all these fun activities for our more older community, our mature community, but there's nobody really focuses on the youth, and that's where I come in. And I think that's why it's really important to have a perfect mix of a little bit of everything when you're dealing with city politics, right? You have the person that cares about bringing in, the Chamber of Commerce, events like that into the city because we need it. It's livelihood. It's a part of our life.
My question, now that you said that, I didn't know they had the Chamber of Commerce. I knew they had it, but it was through Facebook. That's how I followed everybody on Facebook pages. And I learned that your town, when I went there last year or this year, actually it was this year, I think the beginning of the year, the Marines were there. And for the first time in my life, I saw the school. I was like, and I told my friend that we went as a veteran. He's a good friend.
Veterans Field? The Veterans Field?
Yeah. Yeah, I was up there as media, and I was like,
I can't.
And you can see from the top, you can see the whole town. It's
I
like,
gotta do it right now. We have the most beautiful sports complex in the valley, no doubt. I don't care what city. You know what? Bring it on. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. No, we've got the most beautiful baseball field and football field in the entire Imperial Valley. I'm telling you.
That football field is so well. The stage is bigger than Central's. I'll tell you that. I'm a Spartan, and I saw the this going up there on the media side, that it's so high that you could see the whole city. It was like, I was like, OMG! I was filming the Marines, but I was looking it up. I'm like, I'm seeing like every house as the structure of the city almost from where I was at. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
I am so proud of our schools, and that's why I think that Calipat needs to match the schools, because we do get contractors that come in and say, you guys have a great looking school. It's like, it's not great. It's not just great looking, but the staff is phenomenal. Our teachers are awesome. I love our teachers. A lot of them are alumni, so they really care even more about the children that they are now molding and educating. So that's why in city council, I'm like between the chambers and myself with what I do, we're like the unofficial parks and recreations of Calipatria. You know, city council has said it before, or not city council, but city management team has mentioned, they're like, it's not our job to entertain the kids. They've told me to my face. And I didn't take offense to it, because if you're talking about technicalities, they're technically correct. It's not their responsibility, because they do not have a Parks and Recreations department, because we cannot afford a Parks and Recreations department.
They can't afford a. Yes, they can. There's a CGB funding. I don't know if you know about that. CGB funding.
When you look
funding for that.
Yeah, there's monies when you look
Yeah, as a grant writer, and I'm telling that to the public because they know who I am. There's money, but the city probably don't want to tap into it. Is one, your city manager, and the logistics part, and they don't want to tap into the liability, because everybody don't understand. In politics,
liability. The biggest problem
is the liability,
because it's so much
liability.
They're releasing the liability by allowing these nonprofit organizations to run the youth programs, and that's what I do. I focus on the kids. I do Calipatria Little League. That's one of my teams. We actually chartered for the first time in Calipatria Little League history. We chartered for a special needs division of play, and we had a historical moment, which I can't help but to get cheesy over. Like, we actually played with the Imperial Valley Challengers, which has been the only special needs baseball team in Imperial County for the past 10 years. And I had 32 kids join my league, and they had about the same amount. And we finally met. It was actually like 2 weeks before COVID happened, the pandemic hit. We had our very first game in Imperial, and I just couldn't help but to get chills up and down my spine, because I'm like, this is a historical event. Like, this is the first time that Imperial County has two little leagues in District 22. Okay, we're District 22. To charter the special needs community. And I had kids. The difference is what I like to do with my kids is I show them the fundamentals we practice with the kids. I can't just, show up every Saturday and say, let's figure it out as we go. No, because what I'm learning as a parent that has children with special needs is that they need routine structure, right? They need that. They need to, that's how they learn. And the best way to deal with behaviors is to put them in an atmosphere that is fitting to deal with these behaviors, to teach them how to self-regulate, to teach them about good sportsmanship, teaching them it's okay to lose, it's okay. And let's celebrate the milestones that we're reaching. And we're seeing some huge milestones when we play with the kids. Now, I don't just coach the special needs kids. I coach, everybody. You catch me coaching 2 teams at a time. And when it's not baseball that we're doing, because mind you, baseball is, even though we only do baseball for a few months, during the season, ours is a little extended because we operate for about 6 months. It ends up to 6 months, because what we do, we separate the challenger division of play and the T-ball kids from the minors That way, we're not fighting for a field, because as you can see, Calipat's small. Our turnout with Little League is 110 kids that join our program. 110, okay? We don't have a Parks and Recreations department. The city does not take care of our park. It's our field. It's us. It is ran 100% by volunteers. 100%.
Okay, people, now you know now. You heard from her.
We pay
from
our
Jackie.
water, we pay our own water bill. The city takes care of our electricity. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what now. Ram is not a bad person, because I can call him up right now and say, Ram, guess what? We have a leak in the Little League. Can you come out and help us out? And he's there. He walks across the street and he's like, what do you need? He's like, oh, I see the problem. And he'll get dirty. He'll get on his hands and knees and he'll get dirty to try to figure it out. But we're running it as a nonprofit, and we have to pay our own water bill. So during, the pandemic, we weren't able to water our grass, which, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, try. So during the pandemic, we weren't able to do our normal operations. So our grass looks awful right now. Trust me, I wish it's a heartache to see it like that, because for people that work on the field all year round, it's my team of our vice president of Little League is Javier Mesco. Javier Mesco is one of my endorsers, and he's also in city council. We work together all year round, hard. Like on our time off, we're mowing the lawn, we're hedging the fields, we're dealing with the maintenance, because the maintenance comes out of our pocket. All year round, we're cutting trees. I mean, our neighbor is an amazing man, I have to say, Mr. Whitman, right across the road from us, street from us. He goes in there and he'll sneak in and he'll take his lawnmower and he'll mow the lawn for us. And it just is a pleasant surprise that somebody is and he said because they watch us and they see the hard work that we're putting in. We're parents, just like everybody, and full-time jobs. We have our life at home, but we love our community and the kids that participate in our program so much that we're willing to take that time away from our home life just to make sure.
Say that note right now, because I don't know. I'm just thinking, because I see a few popping up. I don't know, they're your people, my people. But if they have any comments, leave me comments. Let us comments right now. I see there's a few on right now.
Yes.
To the past hour. And the other question I have, now that you're taking the recreation topic, I want to switch it to economics. Do you see economics popping up due to COVID? Like stores. I know you guys have good stores there, but like what the motel. I know.
Did it? I mean, it affected everybody. It did affect everybody, and I hope that our city really pushes forward in applying for these grants that are available for businesses. I mean, that's what they're there for. And I think for me, it just makes complete sense. Let's take care of the people that are putting their business into our city, right? And they're doing it. They're working on it. I mean, you mentioned grant writers, and to my understanding, we only have 2 grant writers in the city of Calipatria. And that's very little, and it's a lot of work for, and one of them, I believe, is Ram, and Ram is running the city. It's not, it's like, let me just pause the city for a second and, write these up. So we do need to figure out a way to either train more people to write grants or pay people to write the grants for us. It's an investment, why not? But they need help. They really do need the help. When I talk to Ram and I see the city people, I don't see them trying to hurt the city. Why would you take these positions to try to hurt the city? I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's just they need help. We need to help them. And it's our responsibility as people that live here to see what we could do to help one another out and be that positivity that comes into the city and try to help. I mean, be the solution. Don't be the problem, right? I mean, I go to city meetings and you're lucky if there's maybe 2 or 3, people from the city residents, in the meetings. We could complain or we could take actions. It's up to you. But I'm all about actions. That's how I am. If I see that there's something that needs to be taken care of, I just take care of it. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
We're
You know,
40 minutes out into the interview. I had a question, which was one with, do you see your town as a military town? That's what I saw when I was up
you know
there in the
what?
beginning
I'm
of the
sorry.
year. Is your town like a military town as well? You guys feel like
Are
you're a
we a
military town?
military town? I mean, Nyland has, you know, a training. Okay, son, thank you. Nyland has, you know, a training base out there, so you see it come in and out. And there's a lot of veterans here. We're very supportive of our veterans. I mean, who doesn't love the people that, you know, served our country? I mean, that's a no-brainer. People that served our country are out there doing what they're doing so we could live a comfortable lifestyle here in the U.S. And so we could sit here and give opinions about things, right? So of course we love our veterans, you know. I mean, why wouldn't we? But
The reason I'm saying that, because certain people that run for office are like, no, they're biased. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You got freedom. Freedom's not free. I'm an Army brat, and I don't know what are you and your family, but yeah, I'm an Army brat.
One of my brothers was in the Navy, and we're very proud of him serving. One of my biggest supporters, as I was saying, I mainly focus on the youth, right? You know, I am a founder of Best Step Forward, which we do inclusive programs in Imperial County, not just Calpet, but Imperial County, for the special needs community. I bring sports, I bring soccer, self-defense. We do paint days, we do social outings. We do a lot of things, and we do it all under the umbrella of Calipatria Pal. I'm actually working on applying for my very own nonprofit, so I will be an official CEO. We started in 2018. We started in 2018 with 14 kids. Last year, 14 kids in soccer, and then 2019, 32 kids. And this year, since we've moved into phase 2A, I called every city here in Imperial County that would be willing to host us to get permission to start conditioning with our kids. And I have to thank, right now that I have the opportunity, thank you to the city of Calexico. Thank you to the city of Imperial, the city of El Centro, the city of Westmoreland, the city of Calipatria, the city of Brawley, who has been nothing but supportive and helpful in allowing me the use of their practice fields to start conditioning my kids that are in my special needs soccer league. So I'm very excited that our turnout this year was 49 kids. Now, mind you, that's with half of my kids from last year that didn't return, because reality is we're still dealing with the pandemic, and it's really important that we maintain safe, right? We're going to take advantage of this time, these different times, and this conditioning to work as kind of as a therapy tool to teach the kids of once when we get back to the school settings, this is what we do. We wear masks. This is how we stand 6 feet apart. This is our new way of high fives. Let's give, elbow bumps, but still teach them the fundamentals of soccer. It's going to be really neat and fun. I'm actually starting practice today. No, I'm sorry, conditioning today in Westmoreland. Very, very excited to get back out of it, because one of my favorite things to do, my passion, my love, is working with the kids. She's not in here. It's working with the kids. I love to do it. I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you how our kids, when I go to school assemblies at Fremont Primary and I walk in and they're screaming, "Oh my God, Coach Jackie, it's Coach Jackie," and everybody's waving and wanting her, and I'm a hugger. So one of the biggest difficulties during the pandemic is not being able to hug my kids that are in my program. I easily have about 100 kids that go through my programs, whether it's through Little League that I'm coaching, but even the kids that I don't coach, I'm out there helping out with All-Stars, even though my son's not in there in the All-Stars because he plays with my Honey Badgers, my Challenger division of play, and he plays with my Boleros. I still help all the other kids. They're like, "Jackie, but I'll be out there in practices helping out. I'll be out there doing what I can." And they're like, "But Jackie, Killian's not on this team. Why are you doing it?" I'm all, because I love your guys' kids. Why wouldn't I? So, here I am, coaching all of these kids, trying to bring in new activities that I feel they need, they deserve, because we need to start now. We need to create that gateway to our kids to find their passion, what they're great at. I have goals, I would love, I know for a fact, and this is not me daydreaming, or it's going to happen. I will see a kid that goes through my little league make it to MLB. It's gonna happen. And how is that gonna happen? Well, you know what? When I become a city councilwoman of Calipatria, I'm gonna make sure that we start taking care of our parks because they don't look pretty. We're gonna make sure that I mean I have plans. I want to turn our old tennis courts into batting cage rinks. I've been asking Rom for over a year. I write letters. I'm a letter writer. I write letters, and he's probably got a file somewhere in his office. Like, here comes another one from Jackie. I'm just gonna put that one right there, and it's because I have written letters. I want to turn those into batting cages. Let's fix the basketball courts. Get more lighting there for the kids. Let's I always practice on the east side. I really think it's important to utilize every space. And honestly, I'm going to tell you now, the East Side Park has been so far the safest area to practice at, and it's taken the whole community to clean it up, getting all the debris out. We've had people come out with their backhoes to drag it for us. The fire department would come out and water it for us 2 times a week. And that's because the sprinklers are broken out there, and it's been that way for so long. Or it just, all of these things, or you look at it, it's like, our kids deserve more than this. They really do. And we need to take care of the kids because they are our future leaders. They are what we are molding to replace us. The whole point of what we do, what I do, people like, in our seats currently right now, the reason you're doing that right now is you need to make sure that you're replicating yourself. You need to replicate yourself, because when you're an old head, because I'm getting there, I'm 37, I'm getting up there and I'm getting tired. People ask me all the time, they're like, where do you get this energy from? I'm like, you know what? I don't even think about being tired, because reality is I don't have time to be tired. There's so much to do. I'll rest when I die. In the meantime,
this is my Starbucks.
There you
my
go.
friends laugh at me when I go to the meeting. This is my Starbucks.
Mira, cheers. No.
This is my Starbucks. They're like, why do you take this to meetings? And I'm like, I pull out my backpack and I'll be like, oh, okay, I get you. And like, just the way I am, I gotta have some energy in the meeting. And
whatever it takes. It's like, hey, I'll tell you what, it's a lot healthier than get out of here. It's my turn. You see these kids, they always want the attention. It's like they can't get long minutes, huh? So yeah, my plan is I really want to start flipping our parks. I know there is we could find money, and it's always about money, right? I'm like, we're such a poor city that we could find grants everywhere that's willing to help us out and beautify.
There's COVID grants like crazy.
There is. It's just
as a grant writer, I get these emails like COVID art, COVID recreation, COVID, everything says COVID.
Yeah.
COVID writing, COVID write. I mean,
and I'll tell you what, and everybody's helping out. Another thing that I did with my programs is I delivered PPE all over Imperial County, door to door. I did that during the entire pandemic, and we ended up. Can you guys be quiet? Thank you. We ended up delivering about 110 PPs to people's door for the special needs community. And why people don't hear this. You want to know why people don't hear this? I'm going to tell you why. I am not a bragger. I don't like taking pictures of what I do. You rarely catch me in a photo when I'm doing what I do, because I'm not in my phone. I'm working. I'm making change. I'm doing a difference. I'm busy. I don't have time to grab my phone and take pictures of everything that I'm doing. So we did PPE, and I'll tell you what. When I first asked if I could get some for the North End, because the North End needs help. We need help. We're the forgotten area of Imperial County, right? When I first
have you reached out to the board of supervisors from your side?
Kelly? I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to tell you now. Team Tony Rahotis, this scandal that's going on with him is absurd. I've worked as a baby EMT medic and firefighter. I've seen that man work, and he works through. He's a man of integrity, a man of honor, a man of respect. You see people like that, and by far, you know what? We couldn't ask for a better leader here in Imperial County. Team Rahotis, 110%. 110%.
Firefighter chief, awesome job he's done, and then he
He's
became
done
CEO.
It's a disgusting thing that he has been targeted in such ridiculous claims, and I could sit here from a person that has seen that man early on in his career. No.
Imperial County, you just heard it from the lady. This is the truth. This is what I've been here behind the scenes.
Yep.
She is saying it, and it's true. It's true. You're saying it's true because I know when he was a chief, I spoke to him as well as a fire chief. He was like he was there to recognize people. He was there to know what he was.
I had an opportunity
there to follow up
and work with his brother. His brother was a nurse in Pioneers for a while. Great guy. His dad worked at sheriffs. He was part of the dive team. Great man. He comes from great roots. I mean, no, it's crazy. Everybody just don't listen to that. It's dumb. It's propaganda.
It's politics. I call it dirty politics.
It is. It's dirty politics, and he doesn't deserve to be put through this. His family doesn't deserve to be put through this. It's crazy stuff. Also, Ryan Kelly, also worked with him back in my days. Probably fire guy. Yeah, we worked with him. Great guy. And I'm going to tell you another thing that I did that a lot of people don't know about. When the Nyland fires happened, hey, both of you guys, I'm sorry, these kids are rude. During the Nyland fire, when it happened, I could tell you exactly what was going on that day. I had a friend stop by to pick up my partner. He likes to make clamato mix, and he shares it with his friends, and they came by to pick up a clamato mix because he makes a pretty good mix. And he pulled up to get his mix, and I look over, and you see the header coming up from Nyland. You guys need to be quiet. You see the header coming up from Nyland. And it's like, hey, Amal, that doesn't look good. Usually when you see some dark smoke, you know that it's not good. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I better check on my mom because his mom's in Nyland. And within literally the second he said, I better check on my mom, his phone rings and his mom's screaming through the phone, mijo se está quemando todo. Everything's burning. And he's like, he looked like he literally got pale. And I'm going to tell you, as a firefighter that worked Calipat, when Nyland burns, it burns. And this has been a problem for a very long time, that there hasn't been, they haven't forced cleanups out there. A lot of empty skeleton houses, dried up structures that are just a fire hazard waiting to happen. And some of the craziest fires I've ever been to in my life have been in Nyland. Let me tell you, because if it's brush that's burning, there's a good chance you're going to have structures within that brush. And then if you're lucky, you might have some ammo, that is inside of that trailer or that house. Or when you go to the slabs and then it's burning, and then for some reason they hoarded about 100 propane tanks from some odd reason, and things are exploding all around you. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. But the day the Nyland fire happened and he took off, I knew things were bad, because within 3 minutes of him leaving, a good friend of mine called me and said, Jackie, my mom. This is another friend. I said, what do you need me to do? I can't help but to jump into, I need to work. It never leaves you. That job never leaves you. You can't just sit still and let...
First responders on your head all the time, huh? It's just like mine. First responding just...
helping. You just want to help. And he's like...
First responders, yeah.
My mom doesn't want to leave her house in Nyland's burning. And I said, dude, you want me to go? He's like, well, I might beat you out there. And I said, well, I'll go. And he said, you know what? No, just stay home with your family. I'm going to get out there and check on my mom. And that's when you start seeing on social media all of the, it was lit. You're talking about 2 blocks are on fire. And it hurts because I spent, I want to say 5 years, 6 years of my life in Nyland. My mom owned a home in Nyland. Okay, my mom loved Nyland. She was so proud of her home. And the reason she left Nyland, because when she got diagnosed with cancer, and my dad was very sick. He was sick from diabetes. Your typical cocktail here in Imperial County, that's another issue that I think that we need to take care of is he has diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things that come from a sedentary lifestyle, right? And he was a sick man, so we moved him out an island, and it was one of the most devastating thing for her to have to leave her house and her home. So you get to know the people that live there, the community. They're very small town, a lot like Calapat, but even tighter. Killian and Zoe. So you start seeing the newsfeed, and you start seeing things up in flames.
On that note, I was in Idaho. To let you know, as a community leader, I reached out to everybody because I saw that Christ Community stepped that up. My church stepped it up.
Yeah.
On donations and all that. So I went on social media, went live, and I was in my hotel room at the time in Pocatello, Idaho. And I saw the blitz on social media. I'm like, whoa, this is my community. I'm over here in Idaho. And I blew it up as well because I started seeing, as a firefighter, former firefighter, I was like, oh crap, our firefighters are gonna go. This is gonna go from level 3 to level 4, and it went to that far. It went to level 4. When I saw that, I'm like, oh crap! Researchers are coming in from all parts of the region, which was awesome. And then I start seeing Nyland, Calapat, Chamber of Commerce helping, and then I see my veterans helping behind the scenes because they send me pictures on social media. I saw the pictures, so I was glad that the county came together on that.
The community came through, and I was a part of that. It's just I worked at I didn't work I worked with Calapat Pal, and I did it on my own. So that night, the night of the fire, I'm like, I can't just sit here and not. I knew they started getting evacuated, so I went to the high school to wait for Red Cross to show up because I was going to help. I'm not going to just sit here and not help. I told my partner, I said, hey, it's work mode. We do the tag in, tag out. All right, you're in, I'm out. So I tagged them in, and I go out, and I'm the first one there waiting. And then Red Cross gets there, we set up, and people start coming in little by little. And Ryan Kelly was there. He was there for hours and hours and hours. Mr. Dermo was there. The principal of the high school was there. Maria Nava showed up. She was there. But I was very impressed to see, Ryan Kelly was there to receive the people of the North End and make sure that things were running smooth. Him and his wife. I adore them too. They're supporters of my program. They've come out to see what we do with my programs. We hosted a big.
They're all great, man. I know them personally. I know who you're talking about. They're great people.
He went out to my Halloween carnival and seen what we do and what it's about, and he enjoyed, what he's seen. I worked with him, and he's a good man, another man of integrity. But what you can't help but to appreciate that your representative is there. He's there. He's checking to make sure everything's okay. And you need it. We started taking in donations as far as like drinks, snacks, waters, because COVID was a thing. So the regular plans of how it's supposed to happen in these types of situations, we would open up the gym to allow these families to go in. And it was a cold night. It was so weird how cold it was. It was a very cold night. But we couldn't do that because of COVID. So everybody had to stay in their car. We had families that had tested positive for COVID, and they couldn't even leave their car with kids and everything. And I'm like, this is awful. I stayed there until 5 in the morning because there were still cars there. I left at 5 in the morning because at that point, that's when I had to get tagged in to take care of my kids because my partner had to go to work. I went home just enough time to get like 2 hours of sleep. Woke up, I said, all right, let's open up doors. So I go to Calapat Pal, and that's when the donations started coming in from all over the place, dropping off. My friends came through. That's all right, what do you need help with? And I made sure to keep it at a small scale of volunteers because COVID's still a thing. But it was
I was hearing that from Idaho. I know what you're saying. I was getting the press release from the county because I still get press release from the county. And I was seeing the press release. I'm like, man. So I had to go back personally from Idaho live. And people go, why are you going live on that? I go, this is my hometown. I'm in another state taking care of my own business over here. And it's my hometown. I got to go live. And I told my Indian friends, they're like, dude, you're going live. I go, I have to go live. I'm a community leader. I still represent that town, even though I'm out of state.
You gotta take it. It was awful. It was something that we as you see this happen to our big counties. It doesn't happen to us. This doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It's never happened to.
And you know what? After day 2 of receiving donations, AmeriCorps came through as always. John always sends me a team of people. They help
Johnny,
me.
yeah. Johnny's probably listening right now. He's on my.
Their team has always helped out and supported my programs. They came out. They helped me organize, and we raised about $10,000 for the fire victims because I closed it off. I said, you know what, we need to stop right here. But we helped the families directly, and we kept it very private. And I didn't take pictures. I didn't do the pictures of me giving families items because I feel like that's just a violation of their privacy. I mean, this is difficult for people to have to endure. They lost everything. They still have their dignity. And so to sit there and like try to make them into a charity case, it's just not my style. It's not how I am. Besides, when we do these things, it's very important to do them for the right reasons because you want to help your friends, your neighbors, right? So I didn't take pictures of that. We bought everything to get family started. If they came to me, we made it happen. We ended up putting clothes on about 48 people that came through to pick up clothes. And if I didn't have it, we went and bought it. We went and got it. We went to Walmart. We picked it up. We bought AC window units to get homes ready. We took care of them. And I still expressed to the families, I still have about $2,000 left of the Nyland Fire funds. And again, if they need it, it's still there. That was the beauty of coming to people like me, that I could actually help out immediately. Now, the school district did receive a very good chunk of money to help the fire victims. To my understanding, they're at like $250,000, but it still hasn't been released because there's a process. It's not that easy to get those funds. You know, there's these things you have to go through these the process of receiving those types of large amounts of money. But when you had people like me, people like the American Legion Post 60, huge supporter of my programs. We love Raymond. We love the team. I actually just had a meeting with them last week. They're going to continue to sponsor my my soccer kids. I have a team. My soccer kids are the 578 BEB. They're the battalion engineer. Hey, you guys. Oh, my God. You hear my house? It sounds like a madhouse.
Well, I don't want to cut you off. I know we're in a good topic, but I don't want to cut you off because I'm getting my emails that I got to deliver right now are like popping up.
But yeah, I know I could keep on talking forever. I'm telling you, when I did the up with you Molina thing, it was so much fun. I felt like it was like a speeding date thing because it was like,
yeah, it was speeding date. He did. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and then I'd look over and they'd be all Jackie. I'm like, okay, and I'm shutting up. But it was so much fun, and I thank them for them allowing me to
Darlene Barber, I don't know if you know her. She's somewhere said hola.
She helped me out during the fires. Big old thank you to Darlene for coming through with her and her husband, and they brought donations from the Love's gas station in Westmoreland for appreciative of that. And we also a big shout out to the
Darlene. This is pre-recorded on Facebook, so you'll see it on Facebook and YouTube. Whatever you miss, it was basically community activism she does. So Darlene, it's gonna be recap on Facebook. It's gonna be on YouTube. So it was just a conversation regarding her campaign, and let me throw that again. There's her website, her Facebook page. Like it, share it, and Darlene, you did not miss nothing. So it's just a conversation with a conversation. Like I do in this campaign, so
Darlene's a big supporter of what we did too. She helped out with the Nyland fires, and I appreciated her and her husband's help for sure, and her kids, because their kids came and helped organize as well. I do want to say thank you to, since we're on the topic of Nyland fire, I want to say thank you to the San Diego Humane Society, who made that drive all the way to Calipatria PAL to deliver dog food and cat food for the fur babies victims of the Nyland fire.
That person didn't want to get an interview from Idaho. I called that person that donated that. I emailed them, the Humane Society from San Diego.
Okay.
I reached out to them, and they're like, no, we don't want to do interviews. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I know San Diego came out. They came
to me. They came to me. The director of the Escondido office happens to be an amazing man that I met during my days at the safari park. He was the curator for the mammals department. So he's like basically the Steve Irwin of California, San Diego Zoo. safari park. He's an awesome guy. He's done amazing things for conservation. And he retired, and he started, working with, because I don't see Andy Blue ever calming down. Andy, you can't stop. You won't stop. I just don't see it happening. So now he works for them, and he's seen my post. He's seen what was going on. He is a world traveler, and he often comes out just on his bike rides, his motorcycle bikes, comes out to like the Salton Sea, to the slabs, and just to cruise it over, just see, because he enjoys it. So he's seen the post, and he said, you know what, I want to help. And he brought all of this food to us. And I'm forever appreciative of that support. I mean, that's amazing. That's awesome. People in San Diego came through, But yeah,
so
we did what we could at our level. And I felt that, and I'm not just saying this, I felt like what we did for the Nyland Fire, like what we did in such a small building with such a small amount of people helping, like hands-on, I felt like we had it down. We operated a very smooth, safe distributions, and the outpour was absolutely amazing. I mean, it wasn't just from Imperial County. Obviously, we had support from outside the county, and that was awesome. Forever grateful.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, but yeah, Darlene, don't worry, it's going to be recap. It's just a very simple conversation for her running for office. And thanks for tuning in, Darlene. And don't forget to share. Like I always tell everybody, don't forget to share this. This has been recorded on YouTube as well. So yeah, I'll be interviewing more people. And Darlene, if you want to be interviewed, since you're on, you're next if you want to. I know you very well, Darlene, on your business and your endeavors you do in West Morning. So yeah, Darlene. So yeah, if you're listening to Darlene, just say a thumbs up. But yeah, I'm glad that I reached out to a lot of community leaders, and yeah, I just we have this thing going on, and my heart beats. she posted one of my heartbeats. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it just we're down to the hour, and I just want to thank you for being on. And I guess I gotta get ready for my next segments.
Sure. Before I leave you today, though, because we didn't really keep to touch the subject of homelessness, let's one of my biggest goals is to break stigmas, and that's why I talk about autism, and that's why I talk about ADHD, and that's why I talk about mental wellness. I did therapy sessions for myself just to help out with anxiety, because I'm not a parent that could take medication because it makes you tired. And as you can see right now, I have kids running around everywhere. I can't stop. So therapy sessions work great. I think that we need to remember that don't ever worry about the diagnosis. I mean, if we're not ashamed of saying, oh, I got a medical condition, I have diabetes, I have this, I have that. Well, you know what? Bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, behavioral disorders, all of these things, they are a disorder. Same thing with addiction. It's a disease. Let's break the stigma. Let's take care of ourselves. Don't be afraid to go out there and seek help. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's stop shaming people for taking care of ourselves the way we need to figure out how to take care of ourselves. So that's for sure. I'm big on mental wellness. So I just wanted to make sure I plugged that in before we ended our what should have been 30-minute interview.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the reason I threw the homeless, because I know they're not too far from your Nyland, the slabs. It's not too far from you. And I always tell that to those that are running for office. Hey, we think about the homeless, we think about our military, we think about our jobs, our high employment, and all that. That still, because once you're in office, you're listening to the Brown Act. I don't know if you've been told that. Once you're in the office, you got to go according to the Brown Act. And a lot of people, politicians right now, don't listen to the Brown Act, or they abuse or ignore the Brown Act. And that's part of the politics. And I know what the Brown Act says, and I study it many ways. Like I said, I've been in politics for 20 plus years. Yeah. I've helped behind the scenes. I've been up for re-election. Like they've asked me, hey, it's your time to run for that seat. I'm like, nope, it's not my timing yet. And they're like, I'm getting pushed by the community. leaders and the community that surrounds me, and they're like, "No, it's your time." I said, "No, it's not my time yet, and my time is somewhere else. It's gonna be California." Tell this right now. I told this to my Indians up in Idaho. I'll be there soon to replace somebody up there, and I'm not being bought out by the Indians, but thank God the Indians are listening to me because I'm native. I'm native, Hispanic, and Italian. But
Okay.
being Hispanic, it throws me because I'm bilingual,
Mhm.
which is awesome. The bilingual society is not listening to up in Idaho.
Mhm.
So when I was up there, I reached out to the Hispanic caucus, and they're like, "Oh my God, you are bilingual." I go, "Yeah, I'm from California." And once I said California, like, ugh. But thanks to my California people are moving up there because what's going on here in California.
Mhm.
But that's to politics, and I'm throwing that out there because my politicians are listening, and that are out there already in office. They know what I'm talking about.
Uh,
They know that
I
they're
won't.
knowing that
I won't.
they're knowing that.
I won't be abandoning my Imperial Valley anytime soon. That's for sure.
No,
I love living in Calipat. I love being here. I can't imagine being anywhere else. We just have to do a little bit work to make it healthier. Uplift it, boost its curbside appeal, and I'm
yeah,
very. I love being here.
no. And when I saw you, you were with Molina. I was like, okay, but I already had you on my list on my radar because I was like, okay, this list is small from Calipat. I gotta hit everybody either way because it's a small town, small community. We're all connected in somehow form or another in Women Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, and when you move, I was like, yeah, Darlene, just Darlene, listen what I just said. Yeah, I'm here. Even when you move, I say yes, Darlene. I know that. I know where you live at. You're very involved with the community in Westmoreland as well. We're Darlene. We're still connected to social media. So either way, social media makes it happen.
Yep.
And yeah, and I made it happen. When Island burned down, I went live and I told everybody to support my church because they were giving these donations for Island. And that's when you make the things roll on social media, and I believe social media because I've been on this platform since it started, Facebook, 2008, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it grew, and my journalism grew. Now, thank God, I put myself out there. Like I tell people, it's not easy to be journalism. Being a
Yeah.
journalism world, it's not easy. This profession is thick throat, I call it, but I enjoy it because nobody pays me. Nobody
Yeah.
sponsors me. I'm not like those other media outlets that they gotta listen to their politician because they pay them.
Mm-hmm.
If that politician wants to go for it, go for it. But
Well,
I'm not doing that. I'm being fair square with every politician. All
yes.
those incumbents that are listening to me right now, you guys are next in a couple of weeks. So don't think I ignored you guys. The newbies are first, and I'm putting this on the record, and the incumbents are last because the newbies that are like Jackie are in the ring, put herself in the ring. And so that's the reason I interviewing her and a few others, the newbies.
Yeah.
This
The,
afternoon I have
the rookies. The rookies
Katie,
of the game.
yeah, but they're all already as community leaders, so they've done things already. But there's some that are running for office and not done nothing in the community, and I'm not gonna put their name out there yet, but I've been doing my research
I'll tell you
on
what.
all
I,
of them.
I don't take on any type of title or any type of job that I don't think that I can handle. I mean, there's a lot to learn. Clearly, with my background and my recognitions, I mean, I'm a go-getter. I make things happen. I love to work. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to disagree on something when it's not the right thing to do. So it's good. One more thing, I want to say,
Darlene just said, let me tell you what Darlene just posted right now. We we have we have to use the resources and use it for
the betterment of the community.
battle,
Better,
betterment, yeah, which is true.
oh yeah,
Betterment of the community, which is true. And
yeah.
all these resources are out there. There weren't resources in 2009. I'll tell you this right now. When I was homeless, people don't understand that. 2009, I was homeless. The resources it's now because I help behind the scenes bring these resources from San Diego, Riverside, and Yuma, and Mexicali.
No,
I was one of the guys behind the scenes on that.
that's what
Now these homeless,
that's what we're here to do, right? If it's something that we don't have, then you know what? Let's bring it. That's what I do.
and then
we can't sit
Darlene
here.
just said, well for you.
Yeah, thank you, Darlene. No, I think if we're lacking something, you could either complain about it or be that change. I mean, I saw my kid phase out of sports at 9 years of age because he became too competitive and he has gross motor delays. And I said, nope, not my kid. Not my kid will not be able to. My kid is going to play baseball. He's going to play sports. And mark my words, and I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right here, right now. You will see in my lifetime, while I am here in Calipat, you will see special needs sports in the junior high setting and in the high school setting, because the parents deserve to represent their school, wear their team shirts, be proud of their kid. The kids deserve that opportunity, that exposure, that experience, and we're gonna see it. You wait and see. It might take me a few years, but it's gonna happen. You wait and see. But I can't stress enough. Start with the kids. It starts with the kids. You mold them now. You train them now. You teach them now how to be strong leaders, and maybe, just maybe, make them self-aware of all of the things that they could create and change, right? They start now, and maybe doing so, you'll see a few less homeless people in the streets, because they need the guidance. People need the guidance, whether they have an absent family member, absent father, absent mother, difficult upbringings, traumatic events in their childhood, whatever the case may be. We need to take care of the kids. It's so important. It starts now.
And that's why a lot of families don't understand it. It starts with the parents, and then molding them. The time they get to 20s and 30s, they're like, oh, I get, okay, this is my profession now. My profession might change later on, because people did not know that I have that diagnosis as well, but I don't put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was in special ed kid, mm-hmm. and I became the, how can I say, I became the resource through my classmates. They're mm-hmm. like calling me behind the scenes, like, "Oh, Cho, you were that nerdy kid in that trailer, but look where you came from, and look where you're at." And I tell my classmates, the smarty ones, they're supposed to be the smarty ones, but they're the troublemakers now. Like, at the age we're at, they're the troublemakers, because stop doing what you're doing and stop calling me for your attorneys, because my resources are attorneys as well. I work close with attorneys every other day in different issues.
Send some attorneys to Best Step Forward. I could use some donations.
Yeah.
Wedding programs, it's expensive. Darn it. And I can't sell burritos right now. And that's usually how we make our money, darn it.
No, now as you said that, there's a bill that our assemblyman made. It's AB something. I was told this last night with another politician I was with yesterday. We're discussing that. Yeah. I'm not gonna say her name. It's a female, and we went out to eat yesterday, and it was a COVID awesome experience. And she goes, "Daniel, remember this bill was brought up by our assemblyman and blah blah blah." And I go, "Yeah, but the bill's not being proactive due to COVID, but he wrote this bill. He's our local assemblyman here in Imperial County in Riverside." Mm-hmm. And you could make food, but sell it out to the public. But it's true, and this bill has to be up there. But mm-hmm. people are not using that bill. Using that, I got to throw it out there on that bill name. But Assemblyman Garcia did it, and you could make home food and sell out to the community. But I don't know, due to the CDC guidelines and all this, what we got to go through. Just mm-hmm. that probably made it stop through the state of California. But yes, we gotta help our homeless. Yes, Darlene. I know there's homeless in Westmoreland. There's homeless in every part of the county, and I seen it with my own eyes when I came from Portland, Oregon to California. I saw it through the Amtrak trains. I was like telling the Amtrak people, like, don't tell me they're at every train stop. The in campus, they're like, yeah. So I was in shock.
If you're seeing it in Calipat, it's everywhere. Homelessness is definitely, like I said, it's a pandemic, and we need to figure out a solution to it. And I think that right now, early intervention is key. Mental wellness is key. Our resources are all very limited. I mean, caseworkers are just swamped with clients. It's a sad situation with how many clients our behavioral health caseworkers have. It's crazy, and we need help. We need to figure it out, whether We do incentives to bring in more people to come into our county to work for us. Offer some sort of program that, hey, we'll pay for your schooling if you give us X amount of years of time when you're done. I know the nursing program used to do that in Pioneers for a while there, where, hey, we'll help you out with the school as long as you give us some time when you're done and you finish school.
Darlene says she found the name of the bill, but well, when you find it out, it's going to be out on social media where you guys all follow me. We all follow each other, so yeah.
You know, it might not be a bad idea to give Darlene a little interview on the side. She'll probably has a lot of things that she could probably share with you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure.
I just like it's like my calendar is just so booked this whole week, and next week it's already like not even funny. I'm like, yeah.
You know, you could probably do something after the elections. You know.
Well, she just said right now there was also another suicide over the weekend. Oh, she found out. Okay, well, see, I didn't know about that one. There was another suicide over the weekend. Yeah, just stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going on, Darlene. I know what's going on. I see it. I don't like to report that on as a media guy. I'll tell you this right. I don't like to report the negative, like the suicide or the murder in Brawley.
Especially if you don't want to be you don't want to send out misinformation, right?
Yeah,
I think it's
and that's why I don't share that.
The fact check.
Yeah, Darlene.
We open our mouth.
Yeah, I don't do that no more. I used to, and one family attacked me, and I not really attacked, but he threw me a thing on a messenger, and I told him, well, you know what? I had to fact check first with the PD in Imperial County before I put it out there, but I stopped doing that as a media guy because it was so negative that it became more negative, and I didn't want to throw that out. So my main focus is just make sure you guys get elected and elected. That's my goal. Is that you guys get elected.
Don't forget to register to vote, folks. Hello, you gotta vote. It counts. It matters. Be the change. You could do it with just a click of a finger on your smartphones. You could go to your city hall and pick up a paper, registration form. I mean, the accessibility is everywhere. I think it's a beautiful thing to have the ability to vote. I think it's awesome what we're doing. In my case, 2 seats, 4 candidates for 2 seats. And I think it's
2 seats it's 2 seats in Calipatria?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1 seat. It shows 1 seat on the paperwork, but I didn't know it was 2.
2.
Oh,
yeah, 2 because Mr. Spellings is he's retiring out, and then Mr. Heisel is going to be the mayor. So there's seats that are available, 4 people running for it, and everybody that's going for it are good people. I can't say anything negative about them. But
not just at the fourth person did not put her cell number. She put her PO box. I'm not gonna say her name, but I was like, when I saw the list, I was like, put your phone number, put an email out there, and you had your information. All you, George and Sylvia, all have your cell number and email in there. But she did not put her cell or an email.
Information, like if you see all my flyers for my programs, I have a Facebook page, Best Step Forward. Best Step Forward is the name of my programs. My flyers always have my cell phone number, my email. I mean, I'm accessible. I respond. It's what I do. I mean, I think at this point when we're community involved, your life belongs to those you serve.
And you're right on that one, because I don't know why that person from Calipatria goes old school politics. I call it old school politics because that person that put an email, like going back to the email and cell number, like, you expect me to send a PO box letter? Hey, I want to do an interview.
I think
don't even have a Facebook page. And I was surprised that person didn't have a Facebook page. I was like, this is weird.
People just get a little bit worried with intentions, right? I mean, we are living in a world where hackers exist, and it's different times. It's just different. In my case, I get hacked. You rebuild. Oh wow.
I'll tell you, Darlene just said, I'll tell you all 18 years old to vote. Yeah, which is true. Yeah, all 18 should vote. Actually, 17 now. There's a bill in California at 17, Darlene, that came out.
They're pushing this week for high school kids to start registering to vote at 17 and get the ball rolling now. Early awareness, right? To
Mhm.
your vote count and make your voice heard. So it's really, there's some cool stuff that again, social media, it's all over social media. It's the easiest platform to use for marketing, for spreading your programs, for whatever your mission statement is, whatever your agenda is. Social media is the way to go.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Darlene, for tuning in. And like I said, I gotta run to my next segment, get that one ready, and do some emails because I got a busy day today. It's my busy Monday.
I owe my kids like a slushie because they all logged into their 11 o'clock Zoom without me. So I owe them big time right now. But I want to thank you so much, Daniel, for giving me this time. Big shout out to Tori at Ricochet for being a huge supporter of my programs. We adore you, Ricochet. We can't wait for you guys to open your doors so we can have some fun stuff again at Ricochet. And do our weekly clock-ins, because every time we go to Ricochet to go do our events and soccer, whether it's indoor soccer, paint day, anything that we're doing, dancing, self-defense, we did do like easily a 7-8 hour day at Ricochet, and they've always been so amazing with us and so welcoming. And I miss your guys' pizza. I can't wait for all of this to go away so we could go back to our.
I miss the pizza. I miss their hamburgers. I miss the social there. I miss the people there.
The crew is amazing. We love them. Miss them. And I can't wait till things get back to normal. But yes, thank you, Ricochet. You guys are awesome. We can't wait to open up the doors so we could go over there and party hard with you guys.
And bounce around like I did one time. I bounced in there. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious, but it was fun.
Hey, it hones your inner child. I think it's important for all of us to remember to bring that out once in a while, because it's the key to longevity.
Yeah, I had to be a kid that day, and the city manager of El Centro was just like Daniel, and I didn't recognize her. You know, she was in casual. I see her very dressed up, our city manager for El Centro, and I was like, "Oh, what's up? Let's take a selfie while we're at it." So I took a selfie, and I was bouncing. She's like, "Where are you going?" Oh,
you catch me at Ricochet, I'm wearing like a baseball shirt. I'm wearing a soccer shirt. I'm wearing my dance team shirt. I'm wearing. The other day for that What's Up With You event, that's like me combing my hair and wearing nice clothes. That doesn't, when you're coach. That's why this right here, the hat, this is me. When you're getting physically dirty, you don't have time to really always look hard. I mean, when kids are e-learning, so I'm like, this is me, guys. This is me. But no, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Thank you to the viewers, supporters, everybody that's been going for Team Jackie for City Council. Adore you all. Adore you all.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you. And share on Jackie's side. Share it like crazy because I want this to go viral. All those in Calipat that are listening to me in Island, share this. Those that are in the slabs, by the way. I have slab followers as well. Those are in slabs out there. Those in that region. Those in my familia that knows her as well. My Lita familia from Brawley. Share this, by the way. Okay, you guys? So I'm talking to my familia right now.
Cool.
So in Brawley. So you guys know what I'm talking about.
Share it.
Yeah. So share this. It's an hour-and-a-half segment, but it was worth it. And thank you, Jackie.
I do that a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize. I talk a lot.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm cool with it. I'm cool. I'm enjoying it because we had all these different topics and topics that need to be listened to. So
yes, it's important, necessary things to talk about. And the best part, it's adult conversation. I'm not fighting with my 5-year-old, 6-year-old, and 11-year-old. So I was like, oh my God, this was therapy in itself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good day. Viewers, have a great day, and catch you all soon.